Thank you for staying with us on the show. It's time now for Prime Morning Sporting Weekend. I'm Gary Al Smith, and today we are marking 7 days before the big game. It's all everybody has been talking about, Ghana versus Nigeria, or as has been christened, courtesy of a Nigerian no less, the Jollof Derby. We'll go into that pretty shortly, but there's been so much that's happened this week, and we are going to delve into it just a bit and round it up, and then look forward to the game which kicks off in Kumasi at 7:30 p.m. Next week. Also, we'll be looking at the delay in the Black Stars announcement. I mean, Ghana need to raise a team to face the Nigerians, and it's quite unprecedented in recent memory. Heck, probably the last 25 to 30 years, we've not seen the Black Stars go into a game and not name a squad with 7 days to time, no less a World Cup qualifier playoff of this magnitude. Plus, of course, we segue into the fixtures of the weekend. That's in the Ghana Premier League, the Premier League, English Premier League, that is La Liga, and the rest of them. So stay with us, and that is what we'll be doing for this morning. I keep saying us. It's not just me. It's me and my mate, Felix Romark. Felix, good morning.
Morning, Gary.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You're
yourself?
up bright and early here. Thank you, and we really appreciate that.
Thank God for life.
How was the traffic?
Cool.
There wasn't much?
I left home early just to beat the rush hour, so it's good to be here.
Speaking of beating rush hours, the Black Stars have been fine in not beating the rush hour. That has been the criticism from a lot of fans, a lot of pundits, a lot of journalists, and a lot of stakeholders, because for most of us, certainly in my lifetime, I haven't seen the Black Stars squad not named 7 days to time, with the Black Stars supposed to be in town in the next 2 or 3 days. And I mean, this is not like we are going to play, with all the greatest of respect, Sao Tome or Mauritius or Mauritania. We are going to play, well, the old enemy, Nigeria.
West African Derby.
The West African Derby, as we call it as well. What is your take on that?
Well, Gary, I'm as surprised as everybody who happens to be in the footballing or the Ghana football space. But then again, I think that with the FA, they are not obliged to come out to the squad for any qualifiers or any friendly game. If it had been a tournament, there would be surely have been a deadline for you to submit your squad for the tournament. So, and you can't really hold them to that. But the reason why some of us are complaining, asking questions, is they've set a precedent of releasing squad weeks before any game. So if we are not getting the squad out now, we need to ask questions. We didn't call for it. Before Kets came, there was Kwesinya Ntechi administration. That is what they've been doing. Kets themselves, they even came and introduced a presser when they want to release squad, and then you even ask questions as to why this particular player was included or is not in the squad. So if they are not giving us the dosage that they used to, we have every right to question why we are not getting it. But then again, we've had a lot of management members of the FA or executive council members of the FA coming up with their own reasons. Some are saying it is strategic. If you don't show your enemy your plans to conquer the war, it could be an advantage to you. But then I'm sure that the Nigerians, per our last 5-6 call-ups, they themselves might pick up players that will constantly feature in that particular game. So I don't know how strategic that would be. Maybe they are trying to, get some players to confirm they are coming. But then I'm sure that every player that will feature in that two-legged tie is already aware. I'm also thinking that maybe it could be a nationality switch for some of the players. So you can't name a squad if you haven't confirmed with the player and you haven't gone through the process of that nationality switch. Who knows, maybe we could have Tariq Lamptey in there, Nika Williams in there. Maybe they are trying to convince a certain Mohamed Salisu or Sadanton to come into the squad. So when you are not done with all these things, it will be difficult for you, because you don't want to name a squad and put in some players who have not confirmed their nationality switch, or maybe they wanting to play. But come next week Friday, I'm sure maybe 5 p.m., 6 p.m. before kickoff at 7:30, we will have a starting 11 and the bench.
So Felix has put a lot of things into perspective. One, that the FA are not really obliged. There's no law anywhere, certainly not in the football statutes across the world, and especially not for World Cup qualifiers, that they should name a team and let everybody know what the 23 or 25 or 27-man team is. In fact, actually, up till yesterday morning, by this time, Thursday morning, only 3 of the 10 teams that are playing in the World Cup qualifying playoffs had named their squads, just 3. And then by yesterday evening, an additional 2 had named theirs. That is, I think, Burkina Faso and one other country had...
Tunisia.
Oh, yeah. Tunisia had named theirs as well. So, yeah, people feel like, you know, we've become sort of used to the dosage. I like that expression, yeah. 3 times daily, 2 pills 3 times daily. We've been given that for the last 30 years or so. And for us, it's, as they say, de rigueur. And so we've come to expect that.
Especially when our neighbors have named theirs about 2 weeks ago.
Exactly. the Nigerians are in a comfortable lead. Like, look, they've done everything. They've named the squad. They've even released a promo video for the game.
Yes.
They've released their match tickets. That was last week.
You can just scan the barcode.
You can just scan a barcode and buy a ticket and be resting. Meanwhile, you know, by way of update, I'll be telling you about our preparations as well. So let's know what you think of the delay. And because of the way we've explained it, some may say, then why are you calling it a delay? Well, you know, journalists, we like to be a bit critical sometimes. But what we do know is that by the end of this weekend, certainly on Sunday, almost all the Sunday evening, all the players would have been required to leave their clubs, for those who have been called up, and start getting into the fold of the national team. So by Monday, we should be letting you know by this time that, you know, the team will be training here, and then we can see for ourselves who have come. Part of our job, apart from discussing stuff, is to also give you the filler, you know, the scoop, some of the information that we have. So this is what journalists have resorted to doing, that if Mohammed is not going to the mountain will come to Mohammed. So a lot of journalists have been using their contacts and their relationships with some of the likely players to be called for them to confirm. So you know that definitely Thomas Partey will be there. So, I mean, obviously you can put his name down. But there have been some new names in there. So there's a guy called Antoine Semenyo, who we know for sure is coming because, you know, he's told a couple of people he's close to that he is coming as well. And a few other names in the roster. Some young and exciting talent are coming through. I'm sure you've heard that as well. Yeah. There's some young, exciting talent are coming through.
And Gary, I also heard yesterday that Jordan Ayew doesn't want to come. And maybe there's a lot of convincing that needs to be done. You surely know what happened in Cameroon. And already we are missing the services of his senior brother, Andre, for this particular...
And for anybody who knows the recent history of the Black Stars, anytime Andre is not around, Jordan is not too keen on coming. I mean, he almost followed his brother into retirement
so
in 2013.
And we've had our series of, you know, in quote, abuse towards them, especially when the team doesn't go well.
That's
and
fair.
That's so unfair.
Yeah.
And it boils down to the fact that his dad is Abedi Pele, and then the fact that the team every time is Andre Ayew and Jordan Ayew. But trust me, if we are going to miss a player at this particular game or these 2 games, it has to be Andre Ayew.
Yeah.
Because in as much as he can give you 90% of his output, a certain Andre Ayew on the pitch for 50, 60 minutes can give you a lot of things. Sure. His leadership, his quality, his goals. So I'm just hoping and praying that when you want to qualify for the World Cup, you need your best player. And for me, Jordan Ayew is one of the big players that we have. And I'm hoping that if it is true from what I heard yesterday, he will change his mind and play for the national team in this game.
Okay, so Jordan has become one of the most experienced players, and between 2015 and 2017, actually, he scored more goals than any other Black Stars player. And if Jordan is even around, another option for Otuado, the coach, will be Felix Afenajan, the young upstart from AS Roma. We've also been told and confirmed that he has been finally convinced to play for the national team, and he will be there. And it gives the Black Stars a certain flavoring, you know, while we're on the subject of jollof. a certain flavoring that is probably why the squad has not come out. Because one of the reasons that we've been told by some of the management members on radio and others is that they don't want the especially social media backlash that will come with the squad, because they know that there are quite a few changes that will be unpopular with the people. So which brings me to the question. Yesterday, England, they had a press conference. It was streamed live on Twitter, Facebook, and whatnot. Should we be bothered, or should the FA be bothered about things like social media backlash against especially the young players?
Well, Gary, one thing we can't take away from our social media life is the abuse, online abuse. I'm sure we don't abuse people on social media, but others do. But I'm sure that as a player, you should know that it comes with the risk of being a professional footballer and playing for a huge country like Ghana. If you are part of the Black Stars, everybody has a choice of players that they feel should represent the country. So I don't really want to go with the idea or the notion that whenever the squad is out, a lot of Ghanaians abuse the players, especially those that they feel should not be there. Because when it comes to abuse, the Black Stars have abused Ghanaians a lot of time with their performance. Gary, that is the fact.
Yeah.
Some, it could be financially, because they are young guys who are into betting. They will bet Ghana to beat Comoros. Somebody will put 2,000 on it. You go and play so symbolic, and then you lose that game by 3-2. And then that guy will lose his 1,000 cedi. You might not know what he intends to use that money for. So when it comes to abuse, for some time now, they've abused us with their performance. So I don't really want to go in there. Yeah. But then again, if the squad is out and you have a problem, just go in there and state your facts. I, for instance, have not been happy with our laterals in terms of the left back and the right back. Yeah. Both Baba Rahman and then what's the name? Yadom. They both play for Reading, and they've considered close to 70 goals in defense for Reading this season. They are part of the back four, and you have a problem with that. We all saw it.
Like Nigeria's biggest strength currently is on the lateral. Moses Simon, Chikwueze. Yeah.
So for me, if you even ask me, I'll say, why don't you bring in Harrison Afful? Yeah. But I don't make the choice, and then it doesn't mean that when the squad comes out, and there is a certain Philemon Bafo who we all believe has a consistency at the FA, that is why he get collapsed. You go out there and abuse him. You can't do that. If you are not happy with some of the players in there, you just come out and then voice it.
Critique.
When Daniel Chair first came into the Black Stars, I was the first person to ask, who is this guy? Yeah. But then again, if you give me a pen and paper to put a starting 11, he'll be the first player I'll pick, because he has improved, and he has given me reasons why he should be in the squad, and he should even be on set pieces duties for the national team. Nice
one. So in terms of a bit of the wrapping up, because we could discuss this all day. When two football heads sit down, you know how it is. Yesterday, now this may be a bit of, as they like to call in literature, schadenfreude. Because from the Ghanaian perspective, it might seem like good news, but certainly from the Nigerian perspective, it's not. One of their key players, Wilfred Ndidi, last night, while playing for Leicester City in the Europa Conference League, got injured. And we are told that the injury would last it will take him at least 3 weeks to come back. Considering that he's one of the biggest problems where Ghana is concerned, for the Nigerian team. When we posted it out yesterday on the Joy Sports handles, there were a lot of gleeful responses that I'm sure if Wilfred Ndidi checked on his phone, he would say, these Ghanaians are abusing me emotionally on social media. But yeah, that's one of the issues. Baba Rahman, who he mentioned as one of the lateral players that the Black Stars have been using recently, has also been injured. There's news that he won't play in the game. I spoke to Baba myself 5 days ago. Baba says he's been injured from the 20th of February, but he's okay. But if you know footballers, you know that sometimes of course. He wants to be there. So, once he told me that he's available for selection, it was my duty to put that out. But I'm not sure if the technical team will have the same view. We had also heard that Harrison Afful, who has not been in the national team for a long time, but who is very competent, it must be said, I can't remember any bad game Harrison Haffel has had for the Black Stars since 2010.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Gary, Harrison Haffel will play that position with one leg. Trust me.
And Harrison has 2 feet.
Yes, of course. But then the experience is needed. Yeah. This is not just any other game.
It is not a game
at all. It is not any other game. This is a World Cup qualifying game. $12 million at stake for qualification. That can do a lot of things for us, and it's the bragging right, Gary. It's big.
Yeah.
You quite remember when the Nigerians won the quarterfinal trophy at the AFCON, and then we had to do
the group stage
trophy. Thank you. And we had to do that space, myself and you, over. A lot of people came to that space, and we had to be laughing and teasing at them. Trust me, they've prepared one for us should they book qualification ahead of us. So for me, I'm just hoping that we do everything right to make sure that we qualify.
Okay, so doing everything right includes getting pitches, and the saga for this week has been, will we play at the Cape Coast Stadium or not? Ghana, of course, in our own wisdom, decided to host an Independence Day celebration on the 6th of March on the very same stadium that was scheduled to host the qualifier. In the end, you can't cheat nature, you know. So CAF came down, inspected the stadium, and decided, you guys, be serious. And actually chalked it off. Luckily for us, the Baba Yara Stadium, which has recently completed renovations, has been ready and done. And currently, that is where the game will be played. There's a raft of things that Ghana needs to complete before next week, Friday. We'll not go into that. There's too many to do. But I'm sure you are happy that it's Baba Yara and not Cape Coast for all it's worth.
It's a blessing in disguise.
I tell you,
Gary. And I'm trying to think if it wasn't strategic that they decided to have the independence celebration at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium.
But then that was a very risky
one. Yes, that was very, very risky. And people were saying maybe the presidency had to get involved and all that. But truth be told, for common sense, we have about 5 stadiums in Ghana.
Yeah.
You talk about pitch quality, you talk about renovation, the Baba Yara Sports Stadium is in perfect condition. And you want a derby game on a very good playing surface. I'm sure the Nigerians...
And seeing a couple of pictures from the renovation, they're looking really, really crisp in terms of the pitch and a whole lot of other things.
Yes, and I'm sure the Nigerians themselves would want to play on a better pitch. The Cape Coast Sports Stadium has a capacity of 15,000.
Yeah.
The Nigerians requested for 10,000 tickets.
So they wanted to get 10,000
in Ghana.
And we, the landlord, will have only 5,000.
So it won't be bad now that we are moving the game to a 40,000 capacity. They can have at least 300, 400 because we can't give them 500 or 1,000. Trust me, 1,000 Nigerians with their brass band and their colorful outfit, they can sing all through the 90 minutes game at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. But when it comes to Baba Yara Sports Stadium, it has always been a good omen for the Black Stars.
Yep.
All the 3 World Cups that we've been through, it has come from the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. We are yet to lose a game in 16 matches that we've played at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. 12 wins and 4 draws. And the last time we booked qualification was that 6-1 win over Egypt. We couldn't make it to the last World Cup because we decided to go to Tamale and start the qualifiers against Uganda in the weather that was even so good for the Ugandans.
Yeah.
And then again, we blew that. But I think that for Baba Yara Sports Stadium, it has been a very, very good playing ground for the Black Stars. They love to play it there. But then again, you look at the apathy towards the Black Stars, and it means that a lot of work needs to be done to convince people to come out for the games. Even Kotoko, who are doing good in the league this season, they are struggling to bring out the numbers. So it is good that we will be getting the game on a good turf and a good stadium like the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. But the Football Association, the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the NSA needs to do a lot of work in Kumasi to get fans into the stadium. And I'm happy that it's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. It means that a Friday after work, instead of your usual hangout with boys and come to the stadium and watch Ghana versus Nigeria. No other big game than this.
Now, the way Ghanaians and Nigerians are talking about this game, you think that on that day or in that weekend is the only game in the world or on the continent. But as usual, these two cousins, we are very noisy. It's actually one of 5 games being played. And you don't hear almost anything about the other games being discussed. Senegal are African champions. You barely hear a whisper about their game against Egypt, who were second in the AFCON.
The repeat of the AFCON finals.
A repeat of the AFCON final. And they are not even making noise. These two noisy neighbors, Ghana, who crashed out of the group stages, and then Nigeria, who were the group stage champions, who couldn't do much in the AFCON, are the ones actually making a lot of noise. So there'll be more build-up information in the coming 7 days here on Joy Prime. Angles we are looking at include Nigeria's have been confirmed that they are going to fly directly from Nigeria to Kumasi. Again, unprecedented. They've been given special dispensation that's been unprecedented since I started following football professionally, for a team to come straight from their country to an airport other than the Kotoka International Airport. All COVID protocols have been reviewed for the Nigerians. All hotel arrangements that will normally be done for visitors have been reviewed. Ghana is literally bending over backwards because of the peculiar circumstances that, CAF and FIFA gave us to host this game in Ghana, because otherwise, remember, the game would have been hosted either in neighboring to Nigeria, Cameroon, neighboring to Nigeria, Benin, or in Morocco as well. So that's where we'll end the discussion on Ghana versus Nigeria. Would you want an early prediction now, or is it too early?
Well,
or you want to put it into the atmosphere?
Gary, if you are not winning that game, you shouldn't concede.
Okay.
If I'll prefer a 0-0 scoreline
in Ghana,
yes, than a 2-1 win or a 1-0 win.
Yeah.
This is not the Champions League where away goal rules does not matter. In the CAF, in the FIFA qualifiers, there is an away goal rule, and I'm happy that we are getting to use VAR, because it is very, very crucial.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that we make it, to the World Cup, but it is going to be tough. You look at the Nigerians; they have taken these qualifiers as a project, and they are investing a lot of money and resources into it. When I saw the FA president of Nigeria flying to the UK and actually having a Zoom meeting with all 30 players that have been invited, and how quickly they had to change the nationality for Lukman to be added onto the team, and even their standby list, Gary.
Yep.
A lot of them can even play against the Blasters, but in derby games, anything can happen. We have the first leg. It is important. Sometimes they say first leg, but it is good. We beat Egypt here by 6-1.
And it was done.
Let's finish off the game at the Babara Sports Stadium. Now,
if you look at the feelers, or if you gauge the temperature, to be very honest, and Felix will agree with me here, Nigeria seemed to be miles ahead of us in terms of preparation, in terms of the optics. Like you said, they had a freaking Zoom meeting with 30 of the players who were, we can't even identify. I mean, certainly we don't. We hope that the FA have some tricks up their sleeves and all that. All right, so Ghana versus Nigeria. This is about the third time I'm saying that. That's all for it, and that is really all for it, because we can go on and on and on. This weekend, though, there'll be some Ghanaians and Nigerians in action that you should look forward to in the Premier League and La Liga. And you can check out their fixtures right now. Let's take a look at them. So today there'll be Wolves versus Leeds United. Leeds United, some say they're on the fast track to relegation. On Saturday there's Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Arsenal still smarting from that defeat against Liverpool, but still having top four hopes. Leicester City versus Brentford. As I've said, one of the Nigerian key players, Ndidi, has been injured. Tottenham versus West Ham United also play on Sunday. La Liga, today we have Athletic Bilbao versus Getafe. On Saturday there's Alaves versus Granada, there's Elche versus Valencia, Osasuna versus Levante, and rival Cano versus Atletico Madrid, who are also smarting from they are not smarting. They are actually very happy after beating Man United to go through to the next stage of the Champions League. On Sunday, there's Real Madrid versus Barcelona. It's El Clasico weekend, baby. And Sevilla versus Real Sociedad, Celta versus Real Betis, Cadiz versus Villarreal, and Espanyol versus Mallorca. There will also be Ghana Premier League matches. Please stay tuned to Sports Now at 4 p.m. today for a more intense build-up of the Ghana Premier League matches. Also, Felix, in 1 second, which Ghana Premier League match will we look forward to?
Well, I think Accra Folk and Ashgood It's one of the biggest, game. These are teams that have pedigree.
So the fixtures on your screen, Kerala versus Mediama. So you're talking about Hearts versus Ash Gold.
Yes, you look at the performance of Hearts of Oak in recent time. I think that the inconsistency has been many, and Ash Gold have always been tough customers for the Phobians. So it's one game I'm looking, up to in week 21.
Muntari returns.
Yes.
Sule Muntari will play.
He will return.
He will play.
Yes.
Also, remember, it said another Black Star, Samuel Inkum, is training with Heart of Oak. It said that the management have been happy with his fitness and all that. To be fair to Samuel Inkum, he's always been in tip-top shape for the last many years and seems ready to go. Whether they will sign him is another matter altogether. All right. So, in terms of signing him, I will be signing off right now from the Prime Morning Sports Weekend. Thank you very much for your time. And to you also, Felix Romark.
Thank you, Gary.
For getting you out of bed and bringing you to the studios this early. Right after I'm out of here, you can catch Jay Foley and MFR to continue the rest of the great job they've been doing. So many interesting topics to come from now till the end of the show. Let's do this again when I see you. Bye for now.